From the Town of North Hempstead Training Facility in New Hyde Park, this is the 12th annual Long Island Volunteer Firefighters Charity Drill brought to you by the Manhasset Lakeville Fire Department. Hello everyone, I'm Brian Clemency from Manhasset Lakeville. I'm joined by Neil Brogan from New Hyde Park and Dudley Moran from North Lindenhurst Fire Departments.
Each year, the Nassau County and Suffolk County Volunteer Firemen Parade and Drill Team Captains Association host a drill to raise money for local charity. It pretty much starts in the beginning of the year in January. The committees start meeting to choose a charity worthy of this cause. It started back in 1992. Harry Penny from Bayshore thought it would be a good idea to give our sport a little public exposure and also give back to the community that has given us so much. It actually stems from charity drills that were held back in the 50s. They used to be held in Rockville Center, New York, and basically back then they raised money for polio to come up with a vaccine, and ultimately the monies that were raised did find a cure for polio. So since 1992, both the Nassau and Suffolk associations have been running these drills in alternate years, and we've done it for a bunch of different charities: Make-A-Wish Foundation, American Cancer Society, Heart Association, cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy. We've actually checked on the telethon to Jerry Lewis on the muscular dystrophy Labor Day telethon. And it's quite a rewarding experience for everyone to get involved in, and it generally does attract most people who do race. If they can't compete that day because of other commitments, they try to come out and squeegee the course, or they help set up, or they sell tickets. Everybody seems to get involved, and we've raised quite a bit of money. This year, the kidney cancer received over $31,000, and that's through the efforts of Mike Ward.
Up first for the three-man ladder is Elmont.
The idea in this contest is for three participants start at different points on the track, 50 feet, 75 feet, and 100 feet away.
Elmont with a time of 6:78. We'll see how that holds throughout the day.
At the start, the first person to trip the clock will start the timer, and when all three men reach the top, the third person grasping and holding the top rung, the clock will stop. The idea here is to put your fastest man in the third spot.
At an event like this, how important is team chemistry as all three men are trying to get up the ladder at the same time? Obviously, if one's out of sync with the other, there'll be a problem. Is this something you really need to practice together, or is this something you can work on as an individual skill?
You'll see the teams practicing before this event just to get their timing down. They all really want to start at the exact same moment because the timing lights are on all three different starting lines. This is Kopeg on the line. Relatively young team. Haven't been out in a couple of years, just starting to rebuild and come back this year. Number 757, probably out of the money for the day.
And three-man ladder is a great event to run too if you're a team that's trying to build up again. You know, you might not want to start with a C rig or a B rig event, but you know, have ladder will travel. You know, you can just show up, everything's all set up for you. It's a good place to get back in the league with.
Yeah, we run 3 old-fashioned events in a normal tournament, so an old-fashioned team, a team that doesn't have trucks or isn't running them yet, they can come out and run those 3 events and kind of get used to the feel of how it is to run in a big tournament.
And the Port Washington Road Runners are up next. See them drying off the rings of the ladder. Obviously, safety is of paramount importance. There's so many people running back and forth, so many opportunities to slip. After they run, we'll talk a little bit about how they prepared the track for today's event. Port's just waiting right now for the track to clear. They're looking at a green light that you'll see after our next event. Once that green light comes on, that means they're ready and the track is clear.
Port Washington has a new ladder climber that just started this year and looks to be a good hopeful for their future.
Now, the dry track you're looking at is a stark contrast from what we saw this morning when my crew got here at 6:30 in the morning. It was raining hard. The entire drill team, especially Company 5 from Manhasset Lakeville, really got together to dry off the track. It was an effort to use propane torches, tarps. One guy was there with a towel, squeegees. It really took a lot of guys to get the track dry, and the officials were really on top of it, not allowing any of the races to start until everything was absolutely dry. Here are the Manhasset Lakeville Minutemen on the line.
Manhasset's got an excellent ladder team. Time of 6:60. That should hold up for something today.
New Hyde Park is next, and as you mentioned before, you can see on the screen there are 3 separate timing mechanisms for each of the 3 runners. So it's really important to sync up together. If one person starts his pace ahead of time, that can really start the clock early and really mess up the time for the rest of the team.
Ultimately, what you want to do is have your last man, who's your fastest, break the light, because he has the furthest to go. As you can see, the teams that are getting competitive times, their second climber is touching just before their third man is grabbing the top rung.
And obviously, if you're the first man up the ladder, the most important thing is getting out of the way. You can see the first man scurrying out of the way.
That first man wants to get up there and get off that ladder.
All he has to do is touch the top rung. The second man has to touch, and then the third man has to grasp it and hold it. And if the officials feel you didn't hold it long enough, they'll give you a no time. Next on the line is the Hempstead Yellow Hornets.
Hempstead coming into this year was the defending state champions. Actually, the ladder climbing is pretty good in that family. The second man and the third man are cousins on the Yellow Hornets. It's Joe Simone and Antoine Simone.
Actually, the Yellow Hornets placed in 2003 in every Nassau County tournament in this event.
And 6:49 is the time they'll post for this one. Saw some good times today. Nothing coming close to the state record of 6 seconds flat, or the track record, which would be 6:24. And there you see your top 3 finishers. First place, the Hempstead Yellow Hornets. Second place, the New Hyde Park Termites. And in third place, the Manhasset Lakeville Minutemen.
Next contest to be run would be the B ladder contest. The state record in this event is 4.82 seconds, and it's held by the West Sayville Flying Dutchman. The idea in this event is the truck will start 150 feet out from the arch. It'll proceed to a line 100 feet from the arch where the clock will trip, and you'll see later on in this, there's a traffic light. It'll show you the green light. turning to amber when the clock is tripped and red when the clock stops. 2 men will dig the ladder, 1 man will throw the ladder, and 1 man will climb the ladder. He must grasp and hold at the top for the clock to stop. This is the South Hempstead Rascals on the line. Okay, their spikes popped out of the ground there, causing them to slip a little bit. Tough ladder to climb when the ladder spikes pop out of the ground.
Just like we spoke earlier in the 3-man ladder contest, all 3 climbers in unison. This event, you need all 4 competitors doing their jobs. You'll see in this event there's 2 different type of ladders you can run. One which has what is called a bridging, and that's like an extension on the ladder. You'll see that. That makes the ladder a little more stiffer. Some of the climbers like a stiff ladder. South Hempstead ladder doesn't have a bridge on it. It gives it that bounce. Some guys like to bounce up the ladder a little bit, give it a little more spring. And you'll see that as the different teams run, who has bridges on their ladders and who doesn't.
Next team on the line is the Oyster Bay Teddy's boys. Oyster Bay Fire Company number 1, started by Teddy Roosevelt. Therefore, the name the Teddy's boys. State championship team, 1974.
There's the green light we were talking about earlier, showing that the course is clear. As soon as they cross the line to start the timer, it'll turn orange. And there it goes. For most of the events later today, you'll see the red light turn, but it won't turn on this one, folks, coming just short of the dig area.
The yellow line represents a safety area. If you don't dig the ladder within that area, your ladder's going to come up short and probably won't even hit.
And the officials won't even let you climb at that point.
They try not to, although some ladder climbers are halfway up before they try to stop them.
Take a look at it from a different angle.
And there you can see the truck was broke just maybe a little too early, not used to driving on that track, and therefore the ladder was before the yellow safety line.
And it really shows what an absolute team effort these events really are. The driver, the diggers, the climbers all really need to work in unison.
You spoke earlier how it had rained the night before, and until there's a lot of rubber on that course, or there's a lot of heat in the track, it's hard for those trucks to stop and get a good grip on the course.
Next team on the line is the Carl Place Frogs. Rebuilding year for them. The ladder climber moved to another town, so they're breaking in a new climber this year, and actually wound up doing pretty well for them this year. Unfortunately, on that run, slipped a little bit on the first rung, and that time won't be in the competition for the top 5.
The placement looked good, but it looked like the left rung, or left half of the ladder was a little bit off center. 7:53 will be their final time as we look on the replay.
And as you can see where they dug that white small line is where we placed the wooden ladder for the 3-man ladder contest. That's otherwise known as the perfect dig line. That's where you'll have the perfect angle to climb a ladder.
Next team on the line is the Bayshore Redskins, a team with a lot of tradition, a lot of history. You can tell by the truck itself. That truck raced in the 1940 World's Fair tournament. It's been used ever since. A few new engines here and there. Driver Brian Butler. Excellent driver, taking over the position from Harry Penny after he retired a few years ago. Doing a fine job this year. They dug a little further out, closer to the safety line. Gave the ladder climber a nice opportunity to scale the ladder rather quickly.
Time for Bayshore. 5.45. 5.45.
You see the replay of the line. You see the 2 diggers working together to go bring the ladder in the ground at the same time, making that job that much easier for the thrower and for the climber.
This is Roslyn Fire Department on the line now.
Roslyn has the advantage of a couple of teams here today. They practice on this course, and The drivers get to know the little intricacies of the course. There are certain dips on this course, and you get to know how the trucks brake on this course. So they do have a slight advantage over the other teams. That doesn't always decide the outcome. Nice break, nice dig, and a great climb.
You see the diggers have the double function. Not only do they have to flip the ladder, they also need to beat the supports once the climber starts heading up.
Right, you want to bring that ladder in as smoothly as possible so it doesn't bang the arch and jolt the ladder climber off the ladder.
You get a replay of Roslyn. Diggers going down once again in unison, steadily pushing the ladder towards the archway and letting that climber junior get up the ladder very smoothly. Good run for Roslyn Highway.
551 should place today. Next team on the line is the Levittown Rebels. Their first time out this year. Actually, not a bad drop and dig. The climber was a little slow getting up though.
Time for Levittown, 6.80, 680.
6.80 the time as we take another look from the other angle. Again, mechanically a great dig and spike, but it's a matter of getting up the ladder, that third part of the equation.
Multitude of things brought that about. Not necessarily the diggers going in the ground right away, or causing you to have a longer gap before you ladder climb and get on the ladder and make his way to the top.
Next team on the line will be the East Farmingdale Harris, one of the Suffolk County teams here today. Another young team that's been working hard and starting to take some trophies. A lot of practice. Guys getting a couple years under their belts. Well, that one, they dug really close to that safety line. They managed to keep it in and get a time. You also saw the spike pop out on that one, also making it hard for the climber
Time
to
for
get up.
East Farmingdale, 6.32, 632.
As you can see, as we spoke earlier, just how close they were to that safety line.
You got 2 minutes
You watch
left
the top of the
in
ladder,
the
it just makes the
breakdown.
arch.
2 minutes. Next team on the line will be team number 26 in your program, the Hempstead Yellow Hornets.
The Hempstead Yellow Hornets, great V-ladder team.
Hempstead, you'll see it, as you see the different teams with the different trucks. Neil spoke earlier about Bayshore has been running the same V truck since 1940. Each team will try something different to see what works. If you look at the Hempstead Yellow Hornets V truck, they have dual tires on the front, making it 4 tires, giving the truck a lot more brake. Therefore, the driver, Ralph, can bring in the truck closer to the arch before he starts his brake and not eat up as much time on the run before the gentlemen are off the back of the vehicle. And you'll see how the truck really squats down when it gets to the braking line.
Nice drop, nice climb. Week after week,
Time for
you
the
always
Yellow
count on
Hornets.
the Hempstead Yellow Hornets to take points in this event.
5:22.
Good run by the Yellow Hornets.
5:22, that'll definitely finish in the top 5.
Good job by their thrower, good friend of Neil's, Candido.
Kevin Candido, one of the Nassau County Executive Board Vice Presidents.
Manhasset Lakeville Fire Department is proud to sponsor the 12th annual Long Island Volunteer Firefighters Charity Drill Team television production. For more information and future air dates, visit our website, www.mlfd.com.
Next team on the line will be the Manhasset Lakeville Minutemen. Another great ladder team. Preston Hicks is a ladder climber, one of the best in the state.
Going back to Manhasset has the advantage that we spoke about earlier in the that they do practice on the course here at North Hempstead.
Manhasset has won several awards for the cleanest trucks on the track. Thank you for that. Really nice run by Manhasset.
Time for Manhasset Lakeville.
Got to be a low 5, right?
5.14, 5:14.
There we go again.
Next team on the line.
Diggins working, using no steps right into the ground. As we say, Preston beats the ladder right up, top of the ladder. 5-1, definitely points in this tournament.
Next team on the line will be the West Sayville Flying Dutchmen. They are the state record holders in this event, and always tough in this event.
As they wait for the course to clear, we remind you that this event is brought to you commercial free, thanks to our Manhasset Lakevilles, that is, neighbor to the east, the Port Washington Fire Department. We certainly appreciate their support and the support of all our sponsors for this program today.
Father and son on this team, Bob Marra driving and Mike Marra climbing. Up the ladder and rests and holds. That should beat Manhasset.
Time for West Sayville.
Another nice run.
4.98, 498.
498, that's first place for the day.
That's also going to set a new course record here for the Denton Avenue track. And so there you are, your top 3 finishers: West Sayville Flying Dutchmen and the Manhasset Lakeville Minutemen in second, and third place, the Yellow Hornets of Hempstead.
Next contest to be run here today will be the C ladder contest, motor hook and ladder class C. State record in this event is 8.63 seconds, and it's held by the Manhasset Lakeville Minutemen. First team on the line will be the Bayshore Redskins. The idea in this event is similar to the last event. The truck will proceed down the track 475 feet from the arch at a line 450 feet from the arch. With a triple target, triple starting light. They tend to go a little faster in this event.
And you'll see that the starting light is a lot closer than the last starting light. Right there, you see the light is tripped already.
Brian Butler dropping them off. Nice dig, really nice climb here. And the clock stops as soon as that ladder touches the arch, and he's holding the top rung.
The climber there is Danny Bauscher, who was just recognized as a firefighter of the year from New York State for
Time for the Bayshore
making a save in a fire along with one of the chiefs of his fire department.
9:62.
Next team on the line is the Port Washington Roadrunners. They practice on this track also. Driver Tommy Tucker, longtime driver for the Port Washington team. Also a team that's pretty young and rebuilding.
Roadrunners are one of 4 teams that used to race for Port Washington. Each company used to have their own drill team, the Runts, the Rowdies, the Rangers, and the Roadrunners. And finally combining, making one team and capturing the state tournament in 1969.
It's a town with a lot of tradition in racing. Dan Salerno, who's the team captain, and his father and grandfather, I believe, raced. One of the fastest trucks on the track also. Tommy dropped them a little deep there. It makes it a lot harder for the ladder climber to get to the top. It's climbing a straight ladder instead of a staircase.
What you'll notice is the drivers
Time for ball
in
one.
this event, on the roadway, you'll see two orange road cones. And that's really where they're going to drive the truck the fastest to. And when they get to those road cones, they're going to get off the gas, start to brake the truck. And when they get to the double line on the course, they're going to hard brake that truck until the front tires are on that yellow line that we talked about, the safety line. And they can get back on the gas. By the time they do that, the ladder should be right in the pit where they want it to be. You watch when they come down the track, you'll see the yellow cones on the track and how the drivers are making the adjustments for the teams.
Next team on the line here is the West Hempstead Westerners. Another
West
young
Hempstead.
team, hadn't been out in
Okay.
a bunch of years, and they got
On
quite
the
a
line,
bunch of young guys.
number 12, the West
You go over to their
Hempstead
camp,
Westerners.
and you see 20 or 30 20-year-old guys with red shirts, so they're going to be a team to contend with in the future. They have a lot of knowledge. They were county champs a couple of years ago, going back. And this year we're voted the most improved team in Nassau County.
A lot of hard work has paid off for them in a quick amount of time. And you'll see they've gotten better, like Neil said, each tournament seems like. The other driver just came through the cones like we spoke about earlier. He's hard braking the truck. And they had a little problem digging the ladder and not getting the momentum they needed to get the climber Craig up into the ladder.
Time for West Hempstead. 10.91. 10.91.
1091 should be out of it for the money today.
The Roslyn, the Highlanders.
In order to place in this event, you're going to have to finish somewhere in the
Next team on the line is team number 4, the Westbury Turtles.
Westbury Turtles on the line, coming out this year with a brand new Class C fire truck. Pretty much state-of-the-art vehicle in this event.
And we'd like to take this opportunity to thank Westbury Fire Department for sponsoring this event commercial-free for the production of the 12th annual Long Island Volunteer Firefighters Charity Drill. Of course, with sponsors like Westbury, helped us keep our cost of this production way down to donate as much money as possible, as we talked about earlier on.
As Brian mentioned, this is the annual charity drill. Both the Nassau and Suffolk Drill Team Captains Associations, in association with Manhasset Lakeville, put this drill on this year. The efforts of everybody wound up raising over $31,000. That money went to kidney cancer research.
That's a cause that's really touched Manhasset Lakeville over the past few years, and Company 5 in particular.
And a little deep on that run there, Neil, as you see. A straight up and down ladder, probably the hardest ladder to climb. You're right near that.
Time for the
outside
Westbury
safety
Turtles.
line.
9.39. 9.39.
9:39 is not a bad time.
Thank you.
If he had gotten a better ladder, he would have probably come in first place. But that should hold for the top 5.
North Belmore on the line. North Belmore is driver, and the other member of their team that is the thrower are brothers, Mike and Al Bolin. And you see the man with the white flag is their father, Al Bolin. Well, it's a family sport. Like you said, many times we've seen with many other teams. It's a multi-generation facet that you join a drill team or the fire department and compete in drill team racing.
North Belmont with a really good to-see ladder team also this year. That's a fairly new truck. Came out in the last 3 or 4 years. It's a whole new design. And they've got all the bugs out, and they can seem to get it down the track pretty fast and stop it pretty well. You can see a nice drop, straight ladder, really nice climber, and right up to the top. That should finish in the top 5.
Time for North Belmore.
Neil, where do these trucks actually come from?
9:30.
Obviously, you can't go to your local car dealership, pick up a C-rig or a B-rig.
Bank tails on the line.
There are a couple of manufacturers that build these on the island. They generally have a backlog of 2 or 3 trucks on order. Lou Riboli builds some of the best trucks out there. Most of the teams, there's a Riboli truck on the line that you see here.
This is the Manhasset Lakeville Minutemen.
Manhasset Lakeville Excellent Sea Ladder team actually took total points in Nassau County for the 2003 season in sea ladder.
Have Manhasset Lakeville on the line.
Driver Pete Shue, Preston Hicks is their climber. Brian was talking earlier about the drill officials. Al Bowen, he pointed out earlier, walking off the course there. The drill officials are a good group of men and women who come out each week, and they're usually racing men who have retired from racing and come out and give their time to be the judges in these contests. Really nice drop there and a great climb. Preston with an 870. That sets a new course record at the New Hyde Park track.
Not as impressive, though, as
Time for
clean
Manhasset
that
Lakeville.
sea rig was at Neal.
Yes, I
I don't-
noticed that once again. That sea truck is awful clean.
The red and blue is beautiful on that vehicle.
So there are your top three finishers for the sea ladder event. First place, the Manhasset Lakeville Minutemen, who you just saw with their gleamingly clean truck. Second place, the North Belmore Rinky Dinks. And in third place, the Westbury Turtles. Westbury incidentally sponsoring this event, and we certainly appreciate their help.
Next contest to be run here today will be the Motor Hose Class C event. The state record in this event is 12.09 seconds, and it's held by the Manhasset Lakeville Minutemen. The idea in this event is to start from a line 475 feet from the hydrant, cross the starting line, timing light 450 feet from the hydrant, drop 2 men at the hydrant. Those men will connect the hose to the hydrant. As you see here, get off, kind of miss the hydrant up. They break a coupling, put a nozzle on, and hit a target. So they're not too happy with that one. Kind of dropped them a little deep at the hydrant, and that'll be out of the money for today.
You see as they come down the track, the driver once again using the cones as they use in the sea ladder event. Hard brake, a little past the hydrant, and once you're past the hydrant, you're kind of out of money in this contest.
I might add that the 2 men at the nozzle end of the hose are the Cornell brothers, with a combined weight of over 500 pounds on the back of that truck going down at the nozzle line. Cornell brothers have a long tradition of racing in their family, many brothers ahead of them. Billy Cornell is the vice president on the Nassau County Board. Danny Cornell, very active in the Rules Committee. Next team on the line will be the Massapequa Indians.
Massapequa's first year running with the sea truck after about 15, 16 years not having one.
And what happened? They're supposed to just stop at the hydrant.
Apparently had a little motor problem here in Massapequa. Pull off the track there. You see the people come out, of course, but they safely did get off the course and onto the corresponding street right next to the track.
Safety is a big issue with our sport. All participants have to wear helmets, and at the end of the course, out of the view of the camera was a bunch of hay bales in case of an incident like that where the driver could just hit the hay bales and stop the truck. Also, there are kill switches and all kinds of engine safety features.
Any modifications, all teams have their trucks inspected once a year in case they did make any modifications, anything that might have happened to them over the winter. So safety is a big issue in our sport.
Here comes Elmont.
Just as firefighting is.
Elmont's one of the fastest sea trucks on the track. Nice hydrant hit. As a matter of fact, it's so nice that he didn't have enough time to get the nozzle on. So that'll cost him significant time. And that time won't place today either.
As we've seen all day, everybody has to do their job. And that event started with the driver at the nozzle line. It looked like he got the truck to a real dead stop. The nozzle man, the brake didn't have any momentum to get off the truck, which would have made him get on breaking the coupling, put the nozzle on a little quicker. You can see here, beautiful hydrant hit by Mr. Schriefer there. You see the nozzle man and the braker getting off the truck a little dead down there. It's kind of at a dead stop, and didn't have enough time to get the nozzle on before the water surged through the hose.
You can see everything's moving so fast. The hydrant man's not even looking down at the course. He's just flipping the water right away. That time a little too fast. No time.
And a lot of people, I'm sure, are sitting at home wondering why, if they are out of the running right from the beginning, why they still completing the event. Should something happen that we had to rerun the event, if you did complete and get a time, you would get a rerun. The Levittown Rebels on the course.
Breaker had a little trouble getting off the truck there. Slowed them down significantly at the hydrant, but not a bad target hit.
Time for the Levittown Rebels. 1:05.4.
And Brian, as you see, men with the squeegees there are drawing the course up this way. Everybody has the same opportunity to race on the track at the same conditions. Although there is water on the track, you're not running through puddles there on the track. And before the first team runs, we put water on the course. This way everybody has, there's no advantage to running first in the pack or running last in the event.
Next team on the line will be the North Belmore Rinky Dinks. We saw them earlier in Sea Ladder. Now they're out here with their Sea Hose team.
A lot of times people ask how the fire department racing teams came up with their name. The Rinky Dinks was actually a cartoon in the 1920s and 30s. And they were a group of, almost like the Little Rascals, and they hung out in a outhouse, which is painted on the front of their sea truck. And that's how they got the name Rinky Dinks.
Most of the teams here today are from Nassau County, as I said earlier. Some are from Suffolk. We also have departments that partake in our sport from northern New York up near the Syracuse area and western New York near the Rochester area. Here you see the hydrant man was dropped a little deep, didn't get it on the hydrant in quick time, causing a 14:21. That'll be out of the competition for today.
Time for North Belmore Rinky Dinks. 1:04.21.
Manhasset Lakeville Fire Department is proud to sponsor the 12th annual Long Island Volunteer Firefighters Charity Drill Team television production. For more information and future air dates, visit our website, www.mlfd.com.
This is the Hicksville Hicks. A little bit of a different angle on the camera. And the nozzle man was dropped a little deep, but managed to get back, got the nozzle on and hit the target.
Like a nice hit by Frankie McGowan at the hydrant.
Time for the Hicksville Hicks. 1:03.1.
13:11, that's a great time for them, and that should finish in the top 5 today. Next team on the line will be the Bayshore Redskins. We saw them earlier in the ladder contest with the 1940 B truck. Paulie Susskind on hydrant. Quite a hydrant man to watch.
While they wait for the track to clear, we'll remind you that this event is brought to you by the Great Neck Benevolent Association.
Get the white flag. They have actually 1 minute from the time they get that flag until the time they have to start, or they can be given a no time. This helps keep the contest moving.
Everybody wants to get down there, do their handshakes and their superstitions and touch the truck once, twice, 17 times. Get the hose ready and here they come. Nice hit at the hydrant. He stayed upright.
It's nozzle on and hits the target. Really nice shot there.
Time for Bayshore. 1:03.08.
13:08. That's currently holding first place. And that's a good time for this course. Different courses have different water pressures. This course generally has slower times than some other courses. But 13:08 is definitely a good time here.
Great job done all the way around by the Redskins.
Next team on the line will be the West Sayville Flying Dutchman. Another excellent team, state champions 3 years in a row. Like year 2000, 2001, and 1999. And then back in the 70s also had some state championship teams.
6 times they've captured the state championship and racing for over 100 years.
Nice drop at the hydrant. Boom, water's on. Breaks the coupling, gets the nozzle on in the nick of time, hits the target, and that should be the first place run for the day.
Frank Miller Jr., the nozzle man, I think he was a little upset because he was a little low.
Time for West Sayville. 12.70.
Even with the low target hit, there was such a good hit at the hydrant by Mike Mara. Looks like a great shot, and that time should possibly hold up for first place. You see how they get off the truck there? Breaks the hose.
A little trouble breaking it there, barely got the nozzle on.
Just got it on, was low, and then flipped the target.
And there are your top 3 finishers for the Seahose event. In first place, the Hempstead Yellow Hornets. Second, West Sayville Flying Dutchman. And in third place, the Westbury Turtles.
Next contest to be run here today will be the B-Hose contest. State record in this event is 7.38 seconds, and it's held by the Patchogue 40 Thieves. First team on the line will be the Oyster Bay Teddy's Boys. We saw them earlier in the B-Ladder contest. Similar event to the C event, but shorter distance. Here you see nozzleman Joe Minicosi Jr., who doesn't get the nozzle on. His father raced and his grandfather raced. He's an ex-president of Nassau County. He's been involved with this sport probably all his life.
these teams and break a little earlier.
The line, watching if he can. My team has scouts all over the track watching what's going on and reporting back to the driver. Next team on the line will be the South Hempstead Rascals.
South Hempstead has an influx of young people. They have about 40 people in their fire department, and they're able to field a team. Mikey Spatz, the hydrant man. I sit on the hydrant. Nozzle man, Pat Cottrell, couldn't get the nozzle on. Actually, you see Pat's brother earlier. Pat's brother is the nozzle man for the Hempstead Yellow Hornets, Matt Spinelli. And Pat's been running nozzle this is the first year he's running nozzle, and didn't do a bad job this year. South Hempstead, like I said, 40 guys in the department. It's great to see them out on the track every week.
Pretty much if you mess up in any part of any event in this sport, you're not going to get points for that event. There you saw the nozzle man miss, so that puts them right out of the money. This drill fielded about 25 teams. We can see 50 or 60 teams out of the tournament if all the teams come out. The state drill each year in August brings teams from all over Nassau, Suffolk, Northern and Western New York. Next team on the line will be the Westbury Turtles. They practice at this course. I know all the ins and outs. Nice hydrant hit. Kenny Gass on hydrant. Danny Cornell and Billy Cornell congratulating each other there for a real nice time in B-Hose.
You see on the replay that Westbury is another team that likes that large tire in the front, gives the truck more stopping power. And you see the Cornell brothers down there doing their thing. And a nice run there by Westbury.
8-10, currently in third place. Next team on the line will be the West Sayville Flying Dutchman. We saw them earlier. Currently in the process of rebuilding the front end of their truck. Had some work done on it.
See a lot of teams out there with the flame paint jobs. I guess they're going with the cloud paint job on West Sayville's truck.
Nice hydrant hit. Wood is coming up. Up, he slips, but manages to get the nozzle on.
Still
and
good recovery and
nice target hit. A little bit of a wash.
let's see what the time is going to be for West Sayville on that run.
Time for the West Sayville Flying Dutchman. 8.02. 802.
8:02. That's nice shot.
Next team on the
Currently
line is
sitting in
team
second
number
place.
24 in your program, the Port Washington Roadrunners.
See the crowd there today? Had quite a crowd in attendance. We had quite a bit of work getting the course in shape for this drill.
On the replay, you see Michael Mara again hitting the hydrant. Good hit setup. Frankie gets down, puts the nozzle on, hits the target directly for a great time, 8:02.
Next team on the line will be the Hempstead Yellow Hornets. We saw them earlier. Big wide front tires. Ralph Frail, their driver, longtime driver for that team, active in the Nassau County Rules Committee. Used to be on the back of the truck as a digger for the ladder team.
Jojo Smovia get off. Nice hit on the hydrant. Billy Fork and Matt Spinelli down there. Puts the nozzle on. Good hit at the hydrant, at the nozzle.
Nice run. Nicest run of the day so far. That should be in the sevens.
Time for
And that's
Hempstead
Matt
Yellow
Spinelli. We saw his younger brother, Pat Cottrell, running with the South Hempstead Rascals earlier. He's got a good teacher to learn from, Pat.
789.
7:89. That's first place run.
Next team on the line is team number 26 on your program, 28 on your program, the Massapequa Indians.
As the hookup, you see the nozzle and the water coming out right on the plate. Good shot for the Hornets.
But that's the end of the B-Hose event. In first place was the Hempstead Yellow Hornets. Second place was West Sayville's Flying Dutchman. And in third place, Westbury's Turtles. This event's been brought to you by New Tech, and we certainly appreciate their support in today's production.
Next contest to be run will be the efficiency contest. The state record in this event is 8.51 seconds, and it's held by the New Hyde Park Termites. The idea in this event is to have 8 members of the team run down the course while connecting 3 lengths of hose, hitting a hydrant, water running through the hose, and then ultimately hitting a target. Next team on the line is the Mineola Bully Boys. We saw them earlier. Once again, a new team. This year, combined teams of Garden City Park and Mineola. Have an awkward start. Hose has got a lot of kinks in it. The straighter the hose, the better. Obviously, the nozzleman's having a little trouble with it there, but did manage to smack the target.
Time for Mineola. 10.67. 10.
This goes back to earlier what we were talking about with the 3 old-fashioned events that are combined in a motorized tournament, being 3-man ladder, efficiency, and buckets. Events run in both the old-fashioned tournaments and the motorized tournaments.
There's a team that actually came out for the state old-fashioned tournament this year and ran as an old-fashioned team. Some teams run both. Here we see the Oceanside Eggnoggers. First time we saw them today. Nozzleman George Service. Nice hit on the target.
And if you're just joining us, that light you're seeing on the left-hand side of the screen is used by the timers to determine the time for these racers. The green light will indicate that the course is clear and they're ready to race. The yellow light goes off when the first person trips that timer. You know, this isn't like an event where they say, ready, set, go, and everyone starts. You start yourself, and when you first cross that threshold, that's when your time begins. And of course, the red light goes when you've cleared the course and completed the objective, whatever that might be. In this case, it's shooting the target with the hose.
950 probably won't cut it today. You're going to need a low 9, high 8 to place in this. Next team on the line is the Holbrook Rebels. The call off here is very important. All the guys have to start at the exact same time, as Brian said, or the light will be tripped and the clock is wasting.
Very important position, that call-off position. Most important guy in the track. I could tell you from experience. And my team will verify that. It's not always the fastest guy. Sometimes it's the fattest guy.
There'll be no time.
I don't know if you can hear, our technical crew is actually laughing in my ear right now over the IFB system.
On the line at the starting line.
All right, that team received a no time because one of their coupling men didn't have his foot on the line when they started. Our rule book is about 3 inches thick, and if you don't play by the rules exactly, you're going to get a no time. Next team on the line here is the East Farmingdale Hares. Okay, there they lost valuable time by missing the target. Could have taken half a second off his run had he hit that on
Time
the
for the
first
East
shot.
Farmingdale Hares. 10.09. 10.09.
10.09's out of the money.
You see as they're coming down the track, the water's catching up to the nozzle man. Backup man isn't really where he should be, and it gives him a little push just off to his right.
Next team on the line will be the Carl Place Frogs.
You're watching the 12th annual Long Island Volunteer Firefighters Charity Drill, and the efficiency event is brought to you by the Port Washington Fire Department.
Waiting to get the flag for the course. The course is theirs. And calling them off one by one. And there they go. The 3 lanes have to be coupled as they're running down the course. The nozzle man also has to put on the nozzle while he's running. He's set, and he washes the target, probably costing him points there.
Why don't you explain what the terminology washing the target means to our viewers not familiar with drill team?
Well, when you say wash the target, you want to, the first drop of water that comes out is ultimately what you want to make that flap go up. So anything past 3/10 of a second, it's quote unquote called washing the target, watering the lawn,
Washing the tomatoes.
a lot of camaraderie in drill team racing, but there's also a lot of chop breaking as well.
Next team on the line is the Manhasset Lakeville Minutemen. There you see Sean Fagan, one of my dear friends, who is their hydrant man.
And captain of Manhasset Lakeville Company 3.
We've already received the flag for the course, but they started off right now. You'll see in the back the 2 men that are pulling these slack pieces, they actually start off the line, and they're the first ones to start running because they want to come through the light all at the same time, so they get a good light trip.
Really pulled that hose out nice and straight. Water came to the
Time for
nozzle and hit the
Manhasset
target on
Lakeville.
pretty much his first attempt.
907.
907, low 9, that's going to hold for some points today. Manhasset Lakeville, by the way, took total points for Nassau County 2003. Sweet Pete is a nozzle man. Quite a talented racer. Next team on the line will be the Westbury Turtles. The people that race on these teams are all volunteer firefighters on Long Island. You have to be a volunteer, active in a department to compete. And it takes quite a bit of our time. We practice 2 or 3 nights a week, and we run on Saturdays, and we parade usually each weekend. So it's quite a commitment from ourselves and our families.
Time for the Westbury Turtles. 9.65. 965.
9:65. Time will not hold for today. It's a little out of the money.
Both fire departments in Nassau and Suffolk County both have fire training schools where they actually go and learn how to fight fires, one being in Bethpage for the Nassau County firefighters, and the other being in Yaphank for the Suffolk County firefighters. The fire department racing actually years ago was the training for the fire department. That's how you learn how to fight fires.
Next team on the line is the New Hyde Park Termites. Currently hold the state record in this event. It was actually broken on this course a couple years ago. This team's been around quite a few years. It's Nassau County champions 3 of the last 6 years. The team is made up by quite an interesting group of people who do many different things in their personal lives. We have policemen, plumbers, accountants, engineers, professional firefighters, all different types of people join the volunteer fire service and get involved in racing. You see really good speed, little trouble with the nozzle there, but it was a nice straight pipe of hose. Probably in the low 9s or high 8s.
8.99. 899.
8:99, an excellent time. Probably will hold. It's in 3rd place currently. Vinny Papa on nozzle. Dom Cassar backing him up. Dom Gagnon pulling out that hose. Hydroman Mike Levy Jr. Special mention goes to Chris Rudy and Mike Nuzzi. Next team on the line will be the West Sayville Flying Dutchman. We saw them in a lot of the runs earlier. Always a team to watch, always a team to beat. Another nice hit on the hydrant. They're pulling it out nice and straight, giving that nozzle man a nice straight pipe of hose. And they blew a length of hose right before the hit, but managed to hit it.
Time for West Sable Flying Dutchman, 8.92. 8.92.
8:92, excellent time, nudging out New Hyde Park by 7/100ths of a second. They were currently in first place going into this event by 1 point, and that'll really boost them up and keep them in the running for the win today.
Also, the last three contests, the motor pump buckets and efficiency are good because it gets a lot of people active that it might not run other events, gets them in the events for the day, gives them positions to runs, keeps them interested. You see, this is just a minute fraction of the people that are volunteer firemen on Long Island and in New York State. All out to represent their fire department, competing against each other. As West Sable's run again, got the hose out nice and straight. Good job done by Frankie Miller, the Hydra Man. Great job by Christy Banks, probably the best stick person in New York State. Michael Mara flipping the target by West Sable.
And great job by Chris Bodner. He's been doing the instant replay work for us all day long, finding us those great shots.
Next up is the Bayshore Redskins. We always tell when Bayshore's on the track because nobody has a matching shirt. Everybody's wearing different colored shirts, different uniforms, different head accessories. Redskins are ready to go. Hit by Brian Butler at the hydrant. Water's going through the hose, nice and straight down the course. Good job on the target hit. And a nice smooth run by the Bayshore Redskins.
That's going to be close for first place.
Time for Bayshore.
Time to beat is 8:92. 8:88. That just nudges out West Sable and knocks them Bayshore run up to first place. I'll take 5 points for that. And we'll sit in second place going into the last two events.
888, it's the old triple snowman.
So there you are. There's your final standings for the efficiency event of the 12th annual Long Island Volunteer Firefighters Charity Drill. First place, Bayshore Redskins. Second place, the West Sable Flying Dutchman. And in third, the New Hyde Park Termites.
Next contest we run here today will be the motor pump contest. The state record in this event is 5.54 seconds, and it's held by the New Hyde Park Termites. First team on the line will be the Mineola Bully Boys. The idea of this event is to start the truck 75 feet from the hydrant. The truck comes down, they hook the truck up to the hydrant and pump through the truck and hit a target 150 feet from the hydrant. Great deal of pressure at the nozzle tip. It does take quite a few men jumping on that hose to hold it down.
Time for the Mineola Bully Boys. 8.72.
Mineola had a nice target hit there, just waited a long time to get water to the nozzle.
Next team on the line will be the North Belmore Rinky Dinks. This event simulates firefighting where a fire truck would pull up to a hydrant and pump through the truck. In this case, the Class B truck pulls up to a hydrant, they hook up a hard suction to it and pump out the other side of the truck.
While we wait for the course to clear, we can thank Westbury Fire Department for their sponsorship today. Westbury Fire Department is bringing you this event commercial free.
North Belmore Rinky Dinks are an up-and-coming team. They've been rebuilding over the last few years and finally seeing the fruits of their efforts. They were state champions way back. They have a lot of coaches that were around on that state championship team and have helped them along.
You see the official just went over the side of the truck, he's checking petcock on the side of the truck to make sure that they don't have any water in the pump before they run the contest, which will give you an advantage.
Allowed to have 11 men on the truck. And they can't get off until they cross that line where the timing light is, which is 25 feet from the hydrant. And then once they see that, you pass that line, the man will flag. They'll all jump off at the same time. Nice set. Nice water out. Looks like he washed the target a little bit.
Time for North Belmore. 7.24. 7:24. Next team on the line, team number 3 on your program, the Elmont Bang.
Normally a 7 wouldn't place, but since there's a limited number of teams here today, that might hold up for something. Next team on the line is the Oceanside Eggnoggers. They're a fairly new team, actually. They've come back. They raced years ago, and they've started to rebuild a few years ago. They got that truck from out in Flanders, New York, and originally that truck raced in Westbury. And Flanders bought the truck, raced with it in one tournament, and never raced with it again, and then Oceanside was able to pick it up.
One of the more colorful names, Flanders drill team, was the Keepers, one of the Keepers of the Pine Barrens.
Eggnoggers with a good hydrant hit. They're all set. And he washed the target. Not going to be any points there.
Time for Oceanside. 7.82. 7:82.
You see the replay. Seemed like they had a good hook up at the hydrant. The water's going through the hose. This doesn't look like a good target hit. Probably a little low. You see the flap come up.
Next team on the line will be the Copeg Yellowbirds. We saw them earlier in the show.
Yellowbird's drill team truck was actually another team that's made its rounds. It was originally built for the Roslyn Fire Company rescue steamers that raced it for many years. And then it went out to Mastic and was the Mastic Whistlers. And then Copeg purchased it several years ago. They put a lot of work into it and made a really nice looking truck.
Many of the trucks out here go from team to team after they're retired from one team. As long as they have good engines in them and hang together, they can be used indefinitely, as we saw with the Bayshore team, who was running a truck from the 1940s. Kind of a slow set here for Copeg. Waiting a long time to get water. Doesn't seem to have a good stream running there.
Overtime.
Basically,
for Copeg.
they were given overtime as a safety factor in this event. Once you go over a certain time limit, they shut you down and give you overtime.
That's due to the fact that the large pressure,
Next team on the line
water
is
pressure
team
going through the
number 20
hoses
on your program,
is difficult to control, like
the
Neil said earlier.
Carl Place Frogs.
A little bit about the track here in Denton Avenue in New Hyde Park. This year we decided to host this drill here, and we didn't have any grandstands, and the high school donated a set of grandstands for $1, but it was our duty to take them down from the high school, transport them, and rebuild them piece by piece over here on Denton Avenue. And that was quite a feat. And it was engineered by Mike Ward out of Manhasset and Mike Athenis out of New Hyde Park. And a lot of the teams from this area, North Hempstead, Carl Place, Westbury, Mineola, Roslyn, New Hyde Park, all pitched in to make it possible.
Time for Carl Place Frogs. 9.51. 9:51. Next team on the line, team number 21 on your program, the Manhasset Lakeville Minutemen.
Manhasset Lakeville up next for the motor pump contest.
A couple of the members eyeing the course, watching the teams in front of them.
You're looking at Manhasset Lakeville ambulance unit ex-captain Marcos Tackleberry Polifax. He's been getting a lot of FaceTime all day long as the official in charge of the flags, waiting until the course is cleared to let the next team progress.
The gentleman holding the hard suction on the left side there is Mike Ward, who's the chairman of this drill today. It's his duty right now to concentrate on that hydrant and make sure that hose gets snapped right on there. Yeah, Ward of the team is set. Ward is out. Bit of a wash on the target, putting them out of the running for this event.
Time for Manhasset Lakeville Minutemen, 7.55, 7:55.
I might add that Manhasset wound up taking total
Next team on the
Nassau
line
County
is
points in
22 on your
2003 for the motor
program,
pump
the West
contest.
Sayville Flying Dutchman.
There you can see the markers for the 5 state championships that they've won on the side of their truck, displaying it proudly. Dudley said earlier that this is a good opportunity for many members to get involved in these later events. It does require, in this event, up to 11 men can run. But it can hurt you sometimes if you have a small racing team. Sometimes you wind up going into the grandstands and pulling an old retired racing guy out and giving him a helmet and a couple pads and telling him to remember what he used to do real quick.
Seems like there's a story there somewhere.
Yeah, it happened to us a few times this year.
Sable getting ready to run. Leaving a handshake. Put their wooden shoes on and they're ready to go. The man you see on the driver's side is calling off the team's Gary Sham. He's been racing many years with West Sayville. He's been on all championship teams all the way starting back in 1975. He's the hydrant man for years. West Sayville, ready to go.
Good water out. He's ready. Little wash on the target. But that looks like a really good time, probably in the high 6s.
Time for West Sayville, 6.82.
682, currently first place.
Next team on the line will be team number 24 on your program, the Port Washington Roadrunners.
Most towns on Long Island have a place that the teams can practice. This facility covers the town of North Hempstead. West Sayville has a track right behind their firehouse. Port Washington currently in the process of obtaining land to build a track. Many of the towns of Suffolk County have their own courses. Town of Babylon has several courses. Brookhaven Town has several courses. And go down there any weeknight during the summer, you'll usually see 1 or 2 teams practicing. Next team on the line here, we see the Port Washington Roadrunners. Captain Dan Salerno, longtime racing man, past president, Nassau County Drill Team Captains Association. Might also add that after each tournament or before each tournament, there's usually a parade, and any competing team has to also parade, and that's a whole nother set of scores. There are several trophies and points awarded for the best appearing departments. Best Ladies Auxiliary, Best Appearing Band, Best Appearing Junior Department. So the day continues after this.
Muzzle down, good hit at the target. Port Washington with their logo on the back of their truck, the Roadrunner.
8:36 currently out of the running.
Looked like they had a nice target hit there. It seemed like water took a while to get through the nozzle.
26 in your program,
You
the
have to replay.
Hempstead Yellow Hornets.
The hydrant man and the stick man getting off at the hydrant. Looks like they did get a little washout at the hydrant. Cost them time there, and then once getting water into the hose, you're already 2 to 3 seconds behind the leader. However, they did have a good nozzle, a good target hit.
Next team on the line will be the Hempstead Yellow Hornets. You see their slogan, "Yeah, baby." Often heard in the huddle right before they run. Psych themselves up.
That Austin Powers in the on the windshield there too.
That would be the logo, the Austin Powers bobblehead. Probably the only person in or riding that truck that listens to Ralph, their driver. Or gives him a good head nod to acknowledge what he's saying. Yellow Hornets, some of their team members wearing their red motor pump shirts. Getting a little Bayshore thing going on there, changing their shirts for events.
Now, some teams are opting to have 2 people inside the cab, a driver and an officer, to use some fire department terminology. What's the thinking behind using the second person in the truck or not?
When the truck comes into the hydrant, it's currently in drive, moving the drive shaft, turning the wheels. The second person in the cab, once the truck comes into a stop, will shift the transmission into pump. So now the engine is turning the pump instead of the drive shaft. So that person actually has a duty of shifting that gear, and it has to be done at precisely the right time. So the RPM, if the RPMs aren't right, you won't get it into gear, and you'll miss your shot at turning the pump. Here we go with the Hempstead Yellow Hornets. George Thomas on hard suction, and the best around. They got good water out of the truck right there. Nice slide. Joe Simone with the slide. Little watch on the target. Probably a high 6 on that run.
Time for Hempstead Yellow Hornets. 7.06.
7:06 puts them in 3rd place currently.
Replay.
Next team on the
The
line
Hornets
will
coming
be
in.
team number 29 on your program.
good
the
connection at the hydrant.
Hyde Park Termites.
You have the water coming out through the side of the truck. It was just off a little bit, one side. Wasn't delaying the target hit. That still might be points today, though.
Next team on the line will be the New Hyde Park Termites, current state record holder this event. see quite a few county point championships on the side of their truck. Never won a state. Been close a bunch of times. One of the most winningest teams in the top 5 in the state in recent years. Truck will be driven by Mike DiMaria. And our normal driver for the other events, the hose and ladder events, Mike Athenas, is on hard suction. I get to compete in this event. I get to move the gear. It's a very difficult spot. That's about all my athletic ability allows me to do.
Really the unsung hero of this event.
You know what? If you don't get it in the gear, you don't get any points. So everybody counts.
It's one of those old adages, they don't realize you're in the event until you mess it up.
One of the things New High Park does very differently than many of the other teams is the nozzle man slides quite a long distance. Notice the timing light on your left side. That's sticking up there, that'll come into play on this run, unfortunately. Nozzle man is sliding. It hits the target. Best time of the day, unfortunately, the hard suction knocked the timing light over, and New High Park will be given a no time. Not allowed to hit any timing equipment. And as you can see, Mike Athenas throwing his helmet, not very happy, knowing that he hit the timing light with his hard suction hose.
You don't really get a good vantage point from that side. It was a beautiful run by New High Park. All things coming together. Unfortunately, though, our rules state that if you do hit or destroy the timing equipment, you will not receive a time.
And they look a little discouraged. Trying to get back into the tournament. Good run there would have really helped them. So, pulling up to the line there, you see the Freeport Dead End Kids. Dead End Kids are out of Truck 1 in Freeport. They raced in the old-fashioned tournaments for years and years, and we were told they would never race in the motorized class, but times change, and Don Mouseberger, who's their team captain, was very instrumental in them getting this truck. And 3 or 4 years ago, they built that truck from scratch and came out, and actually the first year out, they did very well, even finished in the top 5 in the county.
Done very well. Freeport, we talked about South Hempstead having 40 members in their fire department. Freeport has about 360 members in their department. And they also have 4 old-fashioned teams that race on the old-fashioned circuit, being the Nighthawks, the Wide Awakes, the Clam Diggers, and the Patriots. And they each have their own team from each company. And Freeport Truck Company fields a motorized team, the Dead End Kids. Done very well for themselves in the first 3 years that they've been competing in the motorized circuit.
And as Freeport waits for the course to clear, we can thank Westbury Fire Department. Westbury is the sponsor of the motorized pump event.
Fire department racing has a very long tradition. Goes back to the days when motor vehicles were first invented, and even prior to that. And the idea was who had the fastest fire department. And competition started on a small scale and developed over the years to bigger events. And ultimately, they started racing the trucks, and it's developed into the sport that we have today.
Each team uses an adapter they set to the hydrant, their own personal adapter that their team uses. There's 2 different types of adapters that are used. And depending on what type of adapter the team uses, depends on what type of adapter we put on our gate that the drill officials use. That's used at the hydrant to put the water on from the hydrant. See Freeport ready to run.
The truck is built by John Mosier out of Mineola. newer truck builders on the scene.
Like a nice run there for Freeport.
Definitely a nice run, probably in the high sixes.
Time for Freeport. 6.9.
693, good enough to put them in a second place, beating out Hempstead, but not enough to catch West Sayville.
See the water surging through the hose. Nozzle man's getting down. Puts the nozzle in place where he wants it. And brings the water right to the plate.
So here are your final results for the 12th annual Long Island Volunteer Firefighters Charity Drill. For the motor pump event, first place was West Sayville Flying Dutchman, second place was Freeport, and in third place, the Yellow Hornets of Hempstead.
Next contest to be run here today will be the bucket contest. This is the final event of the day, and it's a great way on a real hot day to finish the day. Get pretty wet if you run in this event. State record in this event is 19.47 seconds, and it's held by the Central Islip Hobos. First team on the line that we're going to show today will be the Freeport Wideawakes.
And if you're not familiar with this event at home, watch the man standing at the bottom of the ladder.
You'll see 12 men run down. 5 of them are going to go up the ladder. Actually 4 on the ladder, 1 at the bottom. Bottom man passes the buckets up, and they try to fill that barrel at the top, which contains 45 gallons until the top, till the time trips.
Hold it up.
They saw a lot of water dripping down. The less water you lose, the faster your time's going to be.
Time for Freeport. 2-4, 1, 2, 6, 4, 6.
24 is generally not going to take points in a tournament like this. You want to get in the low 20s. Maybe a 23 would take some points. Each bucket can only hold 5 gallons. Anything more than that would be disqualified. Next team on the line will be the Bayshore Redskins. In this event, the ladder is wet when they go up, so it can be a little slippery. Calling them off. No trouble setting there, but first bucket gets up in good time. Steady pace, not very fast.
Time for Bayshore. 25.35.
25, 35, probably out of the running for the day. The woman in the bottom right corner of your picture there was Marcel Skirmerhorn, team photographer, also a member of the Nassau County Executive Board. Next, this team you see here is the Manhasset Lakeville Minutemen. Preston Hicks dumping on top. Up, they dropped the bucket. That'll cost them probably a second. Notice he's pouring some of that water out of the barrel. That'll cost them some time also. Drop some water there.
Hold it up.
Not too happy, Preston. Kind of a sloppy run. That's not going to place today.
Time for Manhasset Lakeville. 25.29. 25.29. On the line,
Here we see the Port Washington Roadrunners lining up. He's stretching out, getting ready to call off. Okay, ready to go with Port Washington. John Mahoney, the dumper. Got his first bucket up there pretty quick. Nope, they dropped the bucket. That cost them some time. Looks like they're losing a lot of water there too.
Hold it up. Time for Port Washington. 29.92. 129.92.
Next team on the line here is the Oceanside Eggnoggers. A little trouble getting up the ladder, causing them to set a little slower. But he's getting all the water into the barrel. Kind of a slow pace. The top man's struggling a bit. Hold it up. That time's out of the money also. Still haven't seen a real hot run yet. These are the Roslyn Highlanders. Decent set with decent pace. Not dropping too much water. Man on top they call Skeletor. Nobody knows his run. That's out of the money. Here you see the West Sayville Flying Dutchman, a really good bucket team. See what kind of shot they could put up here. They're in contention for winning this tournament. They have 23 points going into buckets. Nice set by the ladder team. First bucket goes in real quick. Had to wait a little bit there. Got a nice pace going though, and not losing much water at all.
Hold it up.
It's one of the better times we've seen so far.
Time for West Sayville. 22.64.
22.64 is currently third place. Next team on the line will be the Hempstead Yellow Hornets, point champions in buckets this year. Currently sitting in second place in the tournament with 17 points. They can't catch West Sayville, but they still want to hold their second place overall in the tournament. This tournament does count for Nassau County total points for the year, so it's important for every Nassau team to get every point they can. Little hesitation there, but a really nice set, really nice pace. This is going to be a good run. Hold it up. That should beat West Sayville. $21.74. That's currently in first place. We have one team to go, Oyster Bay. Oyster Bay could definitely beat that. Next team on the line is the Oyster Bay Teddies boys. They have no chance in the tournament to take any of the final 5 places. Actually, they don't have any points up to this point in the tournament. But they do have an excellent bucket team. There's Captain Joe Minicozy. Bobby Gorney on the bottom of the ladder. Really nice pace and great set. There isn't much water at all. And this is going to be close.
Hold it up.
Eddie Minicozy on top.
Time for us today.
21.54. That beats Hempstead by 0.2 of a second and gives them first place in this event.
That concludes the Buckets event, which has been brought to you by the Great Neck Benevolent Association. So our top 3 teams for Buckets: in third place, West Sayville with a time of 22.64. Hempstead was in second, and Oyster Bay in first with a time of 2.154.
Overall standings for the day. In 5th place with a total of 9 points, the New Hyde Park Termites. A tie for 3rd place between Manhasset Lakeville Minutemen and Bayshore Redskins, 14 points. In 2nd place with a total of 21 points, the Hempstead Yellow Hornets. And in 1st place, and the winner of the 12th annual Nassau-Suffolk County Charity Drill to benefit kidney cancer, the West Sayville Flying Dutchman with 26 points.
The time we have for now. You too can help fight to cure kidney cancer by making a donation to the Cancer Research Foundation at P.O. Box 124, South Salem, New York, 10590. For Neil Brogan and Thomas Moran, this is Brian Clemency for the Manhasset Lakeville Fire Department saying so long and thanks for joining us.